What is up, Outlaws? It's your Red Dead Head here, back at you with a very special video on Red Dead Redemption. As some of you already may know, 7 years ago this week, Rockstar released Red Dead Redemption on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360, and it revolutionized the gaming market. As of earlier this year, it passed the 15 million copies shipped milestone, making it quite possibly the most successful and loved Wild West game of all time. If you head over to our Twitter and our Instagram, at RedDead_head, now through Friday, May 19th, we are running a special tribute week to mark Red Dead Redemption's 7th birthday, sharing the best bits of fan art, trivia, music and more from the game, so be sure to check that out and join in the discussion over there. In this video, I'll be taking a look at all that made Red Dead Redemption great, from the thoughtful and enthralling story to the beautiful open world. There'll also be some featured scenes from the story and a discussion on what the best parts of the game were. If you haven't played the game yet and are still hoping to play, which you should definitely do, then be aware that this video does contain story spoilers, so you may prefer to enjoy some of the other videos on this channel all about Red Dead Redemption 2 instead. If you're sticking around and go on to enjoy this video, then make sure to consider subscribing for more Red Dead content to come in the weeks and months ahead. But with that, let's get into the video. When Red Dead Redemption came out on May 18th, 2010, we got our first real impression of how Rockstar Games envisaged the Wild West, as Red Dead Revolver on the older consoles typically had smaller environments and a bit of a lack of focus. But Rockstar didn't just put their stamp on the genre with Redemption, they blew every other Western game to date clean out of the water. I don't think I'll ever forget that iconic cutscene that greeted us upon starting a new story mode, setting the scene for a journey that would take us across New Austin and deep into Mexico, with John Marston involving himself with the lives of so many different characters along the way through many acts of kindness. This story we shared with John Marston is perhaps what made Red Dead Redemption so special to so many. The honor system allowed us to make him behave however we wanted. His moral compass was compatible with both dishonorable and honorable acts. The random events that put us in these situations are a signature stamp of big Rockstar titles, but in Redemption I almost felt as if these mattered more, as the map was so sparse and devoid of life. Any encounter you had with some people by the side of the road was all the more worth my while stopping by and lending a hand. These events plus minigames, bounty hunting and even just dismounting my horse to stop and admire the world were more than enough to keep most of my time playing Red Dead Redemption locked to story mode. The multiplayer heralded it as the first game from Rockstar to feature a free roam element, providing us the opportunity to share these experiences in the West with our friends and strangers alike. Time for a look at one of our favourite scenes from the game now, with our first being what can only be described as the most iconic scene from the game, our arrival for the first time into Mexico. Jose Gonzalez's music perfectly accompanies this peaceful interlude.
Step in front of a runaway train, just to feel alive again. Pushing forward through the night, aching just to lower aside. It's so far away. It's so far away.
It wasn't just the sheer number of things we could do in Red Dead Redemption that made it such an accomplishment, it was the depth and attention paid to each aspect that really set it apart from other games. The variety of wildlife, weapons, minigames, outfits and scenery allowed each player to customize their experience to suit them. There's not time to talk about all the good ones, but I'll discuss my favourites and then make sure you make your own favourites be heard in the comment section down below. For favourite horse, it's got to be the Hungarian Half-Bred, because although it wasn't the fastest, it made up for it in stamina and health, which made it perfect for travelling around the huge open world on. Favourite weapon is the Henry Repeater. Of all the 4 repeaters available in the game, this one packed the biggest punch, and it made shooting enemies all the more satisfying. There were many different outfits in the game, and I wore each a roughly equal amount, but if I had to choose one, I'd pick the elegant suit. This outfit also gave John Marston the ability to cheat when playing poker, one of the minigames in Red Dead Redemption. Speaking of minigames, I'd have to say my personal favourite was Liar's Dice, but all were great in moderation. We also shouldn't forget the gang hideouts, as these offered up achievements and unlockable guns upon completion. But with such a varied and widely explored map, it'd be criminal to not touch on our favourite part of the map, which for me has to be Tall Trees, for its breathtaking scenery and stark contrast to other regions of the map. It's also the location for our next featured scene from Red Dead Redemption, in which John Marston makes his final attempt at capturing Dutch van der Linde. Like I said, this video does contain story spoilers, so if you don't want to see that, then you can skip ahead. This scene really set up some heavy foreshadowing for the events to follow as we reach the penultimate chapters of the story, with Dutch warning John that the government will never stop pursuing people like them, as the Wild West and their old ways get replaced by civilization.
We can't always fight nature, John. We can't fight change. Can't fight gravity. We can't fight nothing. My whole life, all I ever did was fight.
Then give up, Dutch.
But I can't give up, neither. I can't fight my own nature. That's a paradox, John. You see?
Then I have to shoot you.
When I'm gone, they'll just find another monster. They have to. Because they have to justify their wages.
That's their business.
Our time has passed, John.
Now I know the only compass that I need is the one leads back to you. Now I know the only compass that I need is the one leads back to you.
Before the end of this video, it is only right that we touch on the characters in Red Dead Redemption. As we progressed through the story, Rockstar added incredible voice acting and such depth to these characters' backstories that it felt like we were getting to know real people with real troubles and realistic motivations, adding to the depth of the journey we were on with John Marston. Unforgettables such as Seth and Landon Ricketts will forever leave their mark on us, and the unusually compassionate Bonnie stood out amongst the selfishness of the Wild West. But who stood out above all? Other than John Marston, it would have to be Mr. Nigel West Dickens, whose peculiar mannerisms and complete lack of moral code mark him out as such a typical Rockstar character it's impossible not to love him. Who is your favourite character from Red Dead Redemption? Make sure you join the discussion in the comments and let us know your best memories from this game. We'll end with perhaps the most profound scene from Red Dead Redemption, and it comes right at the end of the campaign. When this moment arrived for the very first time we played through the story, it may not have come as a surprise to some, but for me, it still came as a shock. I'm referring, of course, to the scene where the government finally comes for John himself. The ending does the game justice, and it's for all these reasons mentioned in this video and so many more that Red Dead Redemption will always be remembered as one of the greatest video games of all time. If you enjoyed this special episode marking Redemption's 7-year anniversary, then do show your support and drop a like and share it around. But with that, enjoy this final scene, and I'll see you all in the next one, Outlaws.
Now listen, Jack, Narlin, get on this horse. Get out of here. Go find a place to hide.
You're coming with us, Paul.
I'll catch up. You keep riding and don't look back. And don't be worrying about me, you hear? Now get going.
You stay out of trouble, John.
Ain't no trouble, Abigail. Ain't no trouble. I love you.
I love you.
Now go! Get!